The warning. General Krixnar stood before the Galactic Empire Council, his crystalline form reflecting the harsh blue light of the chamber. The four-armed warrior had fought in more battles than most civilizations had ever witnessed, and yet, as he faced the assembled representatives of 28 species, he felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries: dread. The Grand Council chamber stretched far into the darkness, its domed ceiling displaying a real-time map of the known galaxy. Thousands of star systems glowed in various colors, marking allegiances, threats, and neutral zones. Among them, one small yellow star system pulsed with a white light. Sol, home of humanity. Esteemed members of the council, Krixnar began, his translator modulating his natural harmonic voice into something the diverse assembly could understand. I come before you not as a diplomat versed in pretty words, but as a soldier who has seen what happens when we underestimate those we consider beneath us. Counselor Vexthor, a serpentine creature with scales that shimmered like oil, raised her head. General, we have reviewed your report. The humans are barely spacefaring. Their technology is generations behind our most basic military equipment. Why waste this council's time discussing them? Krixnar's forearms tensed. Because, Counselor, I have studied their history. I have analyzed their conflicts. And I tell you now, forcing humanity into this war will be our greatest mistake. A ripple of dismissive clicks and whistles spread through the chamber. The Zarvonian representative, a being of pure energy contained in a humanoid shell, pulsed with amusement. General, your reputation precedes you, but surely you jest. These humans still use chemical propulsion for most of their spacecraft. They haven't even mastered dark matter manipulation. The general moved to the center of the chamber, activating his personal holographic display. Images of human history flooded the space. Wars, inventions, moments of triumph and tragedy. 200 years ago, the Krell Empire dismissed a small nation on Earth as backward and weak. That nation, using nothing but determination and inferior technology, defeated them so thoroughly that the Krell still refused to return to that sector of space. The Krell were fools, interrupted Ambassador Flix of the Manted Collective. They underestimated the power of guerrilla warfare. Precisely my point, Krixnar countered. Humans don't fight like us. They don't follow our rules of engagement. When the Draconis attacked their colony on Titan, a single human ship, damaged and outnumbered 20-1, used its own reactor as a weapon, destroying the entire invasion fleet. The chamber fell silent for a moment. The hologram shifted to show the aftermath of that battle. Debris scattered across Saturn's rings, a testament to human determination. They call it the Thermopylae maneuver, Krixnar continued. Named after an ancient battle where a handful of their warriors held off an army. They celebrate such sacrifices. They write songs about them. They teach their children that dying for a cause is the highest honor. Counselor Vexthor's scales darkened, a sign of irritation. You speak as if there's some kind of unstoppable force. They're primitives with nuclear weapons and basic space travel. Nothing more. Then let me remind you of the Nexus incident, Krixnar said, his voice hardening. The hologram changed to show a massive space station, its architecture clearly of precursor origin. When the Synthax Collective tried to claim the Nexus artifact, it was a human archaeological team that stopped them. Not with superior firepower, but by reprogramming the station's ancient AI using nothing but mathematics and what they call jazz music. Laughter erupted from several council members, but Krixnar stood firm. You laugh, but the Synthax, one of our most advanced civilizations, couldn't crack that AI in 1,000 years. The humans did it in 6 hours. The Supreme Arbiter, an ancient being whose species had long ago transcended physical form, finally spoke. Its voice resonated directly in everyone's minds. General Krixnar, your concerns are noted. However, the Exenar horde approaches. We need every capable species to contribute to the defense of the galaxy. The humans will comply, or they will be considered enemies of the Empire. Krixnar's crystalline form dimmed, the equivalent of a deep sigh. Supreme Arbiter, I beg you to reconsider. The XNR are a threat, yes, but they fight predictably. They overwhelm with numbers, with brute force. Humans turn weakness into strength. They weaponize everything, including their own destruction. Enough. The word echoed through the chamber as Counselor Vexthor rose to her full height. The decision has been made. The humans will be given the choice: join the Empire's military forces or face the consequences of defiance. General Krixnar, you will lead the delegation to deliver our ultimatum. The general's forearms crossed in a gesture of resignation. As the council commands. But I warn you all, I have seen what humans do when cornered. I have studied their concept of total war. They have a saying: those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. He turned to leave, pausing at the chamber's threshold. When the humans show you what they truly are, remember this moment. Remember that you had the chance to keep them neutral, and you chose otherwise. As the massive doors closed behind him, Krixnar heard the council erupt into debate. But it was too late. The decision was made. He activated his communicator, connecting to his ship. Captain Zorkin, prepare the fleet. We depart for Earth in 6 cycles. Yes, General. The diplomatic package has been loaded as per council instructions. Krixnar gazed out at the stars through the corridor's transparent walls. Somewhere out there, a blue planet orbited a yellow sun, its inhabitants unaware of the storm about to break upon them. Captain, also prepare emergency protocols. I have a feeling we'll need them. Sir, the humans have another saying, Captain. Be careful what you wish for. The Council wishes for human participation in this war. They may get more than they bargained for. As he made his way to the docking bay, Krixnar couldn't shake the feeling that he was walking toward a pivotal moment in galactic history. The XNR horde was dangerous, yes, but predictable. Humans were chaos incarnate, wrapped in flesh and bone, driven by emotions the rest of the galaxy had long since evolved beyond. He remembered studying their world wars, their cold wars, their cyber wars. Every time someone pushed them, they pushed back harder. Every time someone tried to break them, they emerged stronger, stranger, more unpredictable. The Council saw primitives with outdated technology. Krixnar saw a species that had survived ice ages, plagues, nuclear standoffs, and their own worst impulses. A species that looked at the vast, hostile universe and said, "Challenge accepted." As his ship prepared for departure, Krixnar sent one final message to his old mentor, retired on a distant garden world. The Council has made its decision. We go to Earth with demands. If I don't return, tell the archives to begin a new chapter in galactic history. Title it, The Day We Woke the Sleeping Giant. The ship's engines hummed to life, and Krixnar settled into his command chair. The journey to Earth would take 3 standard weeks. He wondered if the galaxy would still be the same when those 3 weeks were over. The Awakening. Admiral Elizabeth Chen stood on the observation deck of Lunar Command, watching Earth rotate below. The past 3 weeks had been a whirlwind of activity since the Galactic Empire's ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Now, with alien delegates due to arrive in hours, she wondered if humanity was ready for what was coming. Admiral, her aide, Lieutenant Marcus Webb, approached with a datapad. The Prometheus Protocol is ready for implementation. All major governments have signed off, though the Russians insisted on adding their own subroutines. Chen smiled grimly. Of course they did. And the civilian population. Officially, they know about first contact. Unofficially, the internet has already figured out this isn't a friendly visit. The memes are creative. She took the pad, scrolling through the preparations. Underground bunkers activated, orbital defense platforms brought online, and most importantly, the quantum computers running scenarios on alien technology. What's the latest from the xenolinguistics team? They've cracked the basic structure of the Empire's mathematical language. Turns out it's based on harmonic frequencies. Dr. Singh thinks we can use it too. A priority alert interrupted them. The holographic display showed the Empire's delegation entering lunar orbit. At its head was a massive crystalline ship, its design both beautiful and intimidating. "They're early," Chen muttered. She straightened her uniform. "Battle stations, but keep weapons powered down. Let's not give them any excuse to start shooting." In the conference room, Chen and her team watched as the alien shuttle approached. The doors opened with a hiss, and General Krixnar entered, his crystalline form catching the artificial light. Behind him, representatives of various species filed in, their appearances ranging from vaguely humanoid to utterly alien. "Admiral Chen," Krixnar said, his translator rendering his words in perfect English. "I am General Krixnar of the Galactic Empire. We come with an offer of alliance." "General," Chen replied, noting how the alien's body language seemed regretful. "Welcome to Luma, though I suspect your offer comes with conditions." Krixnar's forearms gestured in what might have been respect. "You are perceptive. The Empire requires your species' participation in the war against the Xenar horde. Your technological limitations will be overlooked in exchange for your unique approach to warfare." Chen exchanged glances with her team. They had prepared for this. "And if we decline?" Councillor Vexthor, who had accompanied the delegation, slithered forward. "Then you will be considered enemies of the Empire, with all that implies." The room's temperature seemed to drop. Chen felt the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Before we respond, may I ask the General a question?" Krixnar tilted his head. "Proceed. In your database of galactic species, what's the one trait that defines humanity?" The General paused, his crystalline form shifting colors. "Your adaptability. Your tendency to turn disadvantages into advantages. Your unpredictability." Chen smiled. "Then let me be unpredictable. We decline your offer of forced conscription. However, we propose an alternative." The alien delegates erupted in shocked communications. Vexthor's scales turned a deep crimson. "You dare refuse the Empire?" "We dare to offer something better," Chen continued calmly. "We'll fight the Xenar, but as allies, not subjects, and we'll do it our way." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the base. The holographic displays showed a massive fleet emerging from hyperspace. The Xenar horde had found them. "Impossible." Vexthor hissed. "They were weeks away from this sector." Chen turned to her aide. "Lieutenant Webb, initiate Prometheus Protocol. All platforms, weapons free." The alien delegates watched in confusion as humanity's response unfolded. Instead of powering up weapons, Earth's orbital platforms began broadcasting on all frequencies. Mathematical sequences, music, prime numbers, even what appeared to be recipes. "What madness is this?" demanded one of the delegates. Krixnar's eyes widened in realization. "They're not preparing to fight. They're trying to communicate." "Exactly," Chen confirmed. "While your empire prepared for war, we studied. The Xenar aren't mindless devourers. They're a hive mind that's never encountered individual consciousness. They attack because they don't understand us." The Xenar fleet paused, their bioships pulsing with confused energy patterns. Then, something unprecedented happened. They began responding to the communications. "This is impossible," Vexthor whispered. "We've tried communicating for centuries." "You tried commanding," Chen corrected. "We're trying to understand." "Dr. Singh, status." A voice came through the comms. "Admiral, we've established basic mathematical dialogue. They're curious. They want to know why we think in singular terms instead of collective." Over the next hour, humanity did what the Empire deemed impossible. They negotiated with the Xenar. The hive mind, encountering individual consciousness for the first time, was fascinated rather than hostile. They had attacked other species because they perceived individual minds as fragments of broken collectives, trying to heal them through absorption. Krixnar watched in amazement as humans explained concepts of individual identity, free will, and diversity to a species that had never conceived of such things. That Xenar, in turn, shared their perspective of unified existence. "General," Chen said quietly as the negotiations continued, "this is what we meant by doing things our way. Your empire sees every problem as a nail because your only tool is a hammer. We brought the whole toolbox." The general's form shifted through a spectrum of colors, the equivalent of deep contemplation. "I warned the council about underestimating you. I didn't realize I was underestimating you myself." By the end of the day, not only had humanity prevented a war, but they had brokered an understanding between the Xenar Horde and the Galactic Empire. The hive mind agreed to cease expansion into inhabited space in exchange for designated zones where they could grow without threatening individual species. As the Empire delegates prepared to leave, humbled and somewhat shell-shocked, Krixnar approached Chen one final time. "Admiral, I must ask, how did you know this would work?" Chen smiled. "We didn't, but we've learned that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a gun or a bomb. It's an open mind and a willingness to see things differently. It's not that we're unpredictable, General. It's that we're always looking for options others don't see." "The Council will have to reconsider many things," Krixnar mused. Perhaps the galaxy needs your perspective more than we realized." As the alien ships departed, Lieutenant Webb approached Chen. "Admiral, the Internet's already calling this the day humanity saved the galaxy with math and jazz." Chen laughed. "Let them. Better than the day we got conscripted into someone else's war." She looked back at Earth, blue and beautiful against the stars. "Send a message to all governments. Phase 1 complete. Begin preparing Phase 2. We're going to teach the galaxy that there's more than one way to achieve peace." In the years that followed, humanity's approach to galactic diplomacy would reshape the political landscape of known space. The species that the Empire had dismissed as primitive became the mediators, the innovators, the bridge builders between disparate civilizations. And General Krixnar, he became humanity's strongest advocate in the Galactic Council, often reminding his fellow representatives of the day they learned that sometimes the most advanced solution isn't technological, it's philosophical. The galaxy had wanted humanity to join their war. Instead, humanity ended it, not with superior firepower, but with superior thinking. And that, as they say, is what makes humans so terrifyingly wonderful.